Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for participating today. We're excited that we have already more than 80 participants right now. Wow. Okay, it's time, so let me start this session. Again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome everyone in the ASPAC Share-2-Learn Session on Thematic Science Museum in Asia Pacific, focusing on concept and creation. My name is Yuko with Miraikan, the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Japan. But now I'm here also as an ASPAC Executive Committee member. This Share-2-Learn session started last December for the purpose of international sharing and learning. We hope that accumulation of this exchange could lead to encourage collaboration and cooperation among the participants. As some of you may know, the past two sessions were really meaningful, but what's even more exciting this time is that for the first time, other than founding members became the organizers of the session. This means the Share-2-Learn is now something that anyone can utilize. I would like to express my gratitude to two organizers, the National Science Museum of Thailand and the Shanghai Science and Technology Museum for their efforts in preparing from proposal to realization. Today, we are having fabulous presenters, which are newly established science museums in recent years. One is the Shanghai Astronomy Museum, which is one of the largest museums in Asia, developed as a new arm of the Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. The other is the Ramanaiah Museum, which is a large-scale ecology museum and conducts a lot of activities related to sustainability. It's under the umbrella of the National Science Museum, Thailand, and is closely located on the site. This session will share not only the stories starting from ideas, development, to implementation of the two emerging museums, but also offer a chance to join the walking tour to their galleries. I don't want to take too much time, so I should stop here. And once again, thank you very much to join us. And let me give the stage to Kai, one of the MCs, to start the event. Kai, please.
Thank you so much, Yuko. Good day to everyone from all over the world. Welcome to the third ASPAC Share-to-Learn session on Thematic Science Museum in Asia Pacific. My name is Kai Pobre from the Mind Museum, Philippines. Today's theme is something that is close to my heart, working as an exhibit manager for the Mind Museum, where I was also involved from design stage to making it a reality and operating it for the past 12 years. Coming out with a new science museum is very challenging. Today, we will learn about the creative process that goes with it, from the sharing of experience in a short virtual tour from Shanghai Science and Technology Museum in China and the Ramanaiah Museum in Thailand. I will be your moderator for the first section today, and we will have Ms. Narisara Borikul, or Nikki for short, from the National Science Museum, Thailand, as the moderator for the second section. Today's event is jointly organized by the Asia Pacific Network of Science and Technology Centers, or ASPAC, that started with a core team of emerging leaders from Miraikan in Japan, Science Center Singapore, the Mind Museum Philippines, and National Science Museum in South Korea. We are proud to be on board with us as new partners and co-organizers, and as well as presenters, the Shanghai Science and Technology Museum from China and the National Science Museum in Thailand. As an overview, this afternoon's Share-to-Learn session will be presented in two parts, starting off with Dr. Lin Ching, who as head of the Exhibition Designing Department, will share with us their experience about the making of the Shanghai Astronomy Museum, or SAM. What's more, he will give us a virtual tour of the museum that only be a question and answer portion, so watch closely. Should you guys have questions about Dr. Lin's presentation later, you can just type them in the Q&A box or at the chat box at the bottom of your screens. The second part will actually be presented by Assistant Professor Ravi Wongse, the President-elect of the National Science Museum, Thailand, or NSM. He will give us a talk about the Ramanaiah Museum, its creation and challenges. A Q&A will directly follow as well. I'm sure you're all excited to know more about these two new museums, so let's get it on, shall we? It is my great pleasure to graduate of astronomy at Nanjing University and had his PhD at Shanghai Astronomical Observatory. He is now the research scientist and head of Astronomical Research Center of Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. Dr. Lin has been engaged in science research and also the science outreach and educational work in Shao for more than 20 years. From 2014, he was appointed as the head of the Exhibition Designing Department of Shanghai Astronomy Museum, a branch of SSTM. From then on, he has taken charge of the whole exhibition project of SAM that has been completed and open to the public only in July 2021. Dr. Li is Astronomy Society and a council member of the Chinese Astronomy Society. He actually has translated many good science books to Chinese, such as The Hidden Universe by Lars Christensen, Heaven's Touch by Jim Keller, The Quest to Find the True Age of the Universe, and The Theory of Everything by John Gribben and others. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Lin Ching.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Ning Qing. I am from Shanghai Astronomy Museum, which is a branch of Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. So today I'm very happy to have a chance to have a report and to introduce our museum to you. I will show you some background and some important ideas, and also will show you many beautiful photos of our museum. Okay, I will just say a lot, and then they will start a video of my presentation. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me such a chance to tell the story of Shanghai Astronomy Museum. You may have heard it. The Shanghai Astronomy Museum, which is one of the biggest planetariums in the world, has been opened 3 months ago. And after it's opened, the museum has received many good reputations. Today, it's my honor to tell you some basic information and our features. My presentation's title is Why Are You So Hot? Shanghai Astronomy Museum. Part 1. 50 Years Dream of Shanghai Planetarium. First, let me tell you a brief history. In 1974, the dream of Shanghai Planetarium has begun. The first version, Shanghai Planetarium Project, has been approved by the government at that time, but finally failed because of some special reasons. And after that, we still lost another opportunity in history. In 2010, a very famous astronomer and the former director of Shanghai Astronomical Observatory, Professor Ye Shuhua, she suggested the Shanghai Planetarium project again to the government, and this time she has got widespread support. In January 2014, the Shanghai government finally approved the Shanghai Planetarium project and entrusted Shanghai Science and Technology Museum to take charge in such a great construction task. And in the government's plan, after the Shanghai Planetarium has been built, it will serve as a new branch of Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. And then the 3-in-1 science education group has been established. Shanghai Science and Technology Museum, Shanghai Natural History Museum, and Shanghai Astronomy Museum. These 3 big museums will combine to form a huge group to engage in the science educational work. Now, I will give some basic information of Shanghai Planetarium. Its location is in Lingang New City of Pudong District in Shanghai. In this map, you can see here is the city center. Here is the Pudong International Airport, and here is the Lingang New City. It's near to the East Sea, but it's very far from the city center. And this is a very special area of Shanghai Pioneering Free Trade Zone. The government wished to promote the development of this area and chose the Shanghai Planetarium to be the pioneer cultural project in this zone. In the approved plan, the total area occupied by the planetarium is 58,000 square meters. The constructing area is 38,000 square meters. And just according to this number, we think it is one of the biggest planetariums in the world. Now I will say something about our name. About 3 years ago, we decided to change our name from Shanghai Planetarium to Shanghai Astronomy Museum. Why? Because in the custom, the planetarium can refer to a device, or a dome with the device, or a venue with some more exhibition area. But the planetarium device is always the center of the venue. But now, situation has been changed. We have constructed a large exhibition area, more than 12,000 square meters. The planetarium or dome theater is no longer the center of the venue. We think we have developed a new mode to construct a big museum to exhibit the great achievements of modern astronomy. Although the planetarium is still a very important exhibition item to show the starry sky, but it is no longer the center of the museum. So we think we need to give it a new name, and we call it as Shanghai Astronomy Museum. Here are some important philosophies of our museum. The basic functions of the museums are education, exhibition, collection, research, and communication. The vision is to establish a correct and integrated view of the universe. The mission of the museum is to stimulate visitors' curiosity, help to feel the starry sky, share our discoveries, and understand the universe. Part 2. Grand Opening Ceremony and Hot, very hot. In July the 17th, we have held a grand opening ceremony of Shanghai Astronomy Museum. The mayor of Shanghai, Mr. Gong Zheng, and other very important leaders came to attend the ceremony. And thirdly, we have held a great concert named Concert Under the Starry Sky in our Dome Theater. We all enjoyed a wonderful, splendid, and never to forget performance. In July the 18th, the museum formally opened to the public, and from then on, the museum continued to be hot, very hot. Every day's tickets has been sold out. really second queue in every weekend. That is to say, every day when the tickets began to be sold in the internet, they are all sold out in less than 1 minute. We have more than 250,000 visitors in only 2 months. It's not so easy because this is still in a period of COVID-19 pandemic. We have strictly limited the entry number of visitors. And this is the first day. This is the first visitor. So lucky the boy. He has been waiting outside the door 2 hours before the opening. How did he love the museum? We have worked hard for more than 8 years, and we always think about such questions. How to tell the colorful scientific stories, how to touch the visitor's heart, how to construct a world's top-level museum. Now we have submitted our work, and harvest is hot. Why is the museum so hot? I think the secrets are all in its beauties. So, then I will focus your attention to the third part, the 5 beauties of Shanghai Astronomy Museum. Part 3, 5 beauties of Shanghai Astronomy Museum. I will first introduce the beauty of our architecture. Our museum was designed by an American architecture designing company named Enad Design. The building is so beautiful if we see it from above. Its curved appearance, just like celestial bodies' orbit. Many astronomical concepts are used in architecture, like gravity and orbit, three-body, time machine, and others. It's very interesting that the designer used 3 architectural structures to symbolize the 3-body system. They are called, here is the inverted dome, here is the dome theater, and here is called the Oculus. Let me explain these 3 bodies respectively. The first 3-body is called inverted dome. The designer used a bowl shape to stand for a valley. If people go into a valley at night, every man-made light was excluded from your sight, so there leaves a pure steady sky. So the designer said, here is the best place to observe, and he called it a place we can talk to the heaven. And under the inverted dome, we also set up a classic science device named the Foucault Pendulum. 170 years ago, a French scientist named Foucault used it to prove the Earth is rotating. The second 3-body is dome theater. This is a wonderful and shocking design. It is a whole sphere structure, and seen from some special direction, this structure is just like a floating planet. No any support frame. Besides that, this structure is also served like a time machine, because in a sunny day, you can see a light circle on the ground, and it will move with the time. In around Ariel's summer solstice, which is in the middle of June, the night circle will coincide with the pre-painted ground label. Beautiful, stunning. Now, the third three body is called the Oculus. Actually, it is a big hole in a huge room in the entrance of our museum. The surface of the hole will show a beautiful magic effect in the entrance, and it also serves as another time machine. The night spot from the hole will move on the ground and will also coincide with the black circle in around summer solstice. Outside the main building, we still have two independent observatories. The left one will house a 1-meter telescope to observe at night, and the right one will house a 65 centimeter high-level solar telescope to observe the sun. This is our museum seen from the airplane. This is the museum, and this is a big round man-made lake named District Lake. Here is a beautiful picture of our museum under the starry sky. Do you think it's like a spaceship? Now I will introduce 4 professional and powerful devices designed to show or observe the starry sky. First, I will introduce an ultra-high definition dome theater that is just inside the beautiful floating planet. Its inner diameter is 23 meters. It has 212 seats, and it has a linear projector system beyond your imagination. It will have a resolution exceed 10K, much higher than the 8K standard. So we can play or compile many high-resolution dome films to create the awesome tour to the deep universe. Second, we will introduce our optical planetarium. It is the first amazing device every visitor will encounter when they go into the exhibition area. So interesting, it is inside a huge big Earth, a dome which I will introduce in the later part. The inner diameter of the planetarium dome is 17 meters, and we use the Japanese newest God of Orpheus optical planetarium. So funny, isn't it? We use many beanbag that is called lazy sofa to let everyone can lazily lay down and look up to the starry sky freely. This has become the most expected visiting site in our museum. And third, we can see a big telescope named Double Focus 1-meter telescope. Its aperture is 1 meter, and it has 2 exchangeable focus. One focus is prime focus that will be used as scientific survey research. The other focus is Nasmyth focus. We can use this focus to see the moon, planet, and others using the eyepiece directly. So huge the telescope, you can perform visual observation. The fourth great device is named 65 centimeter Educational Adaptive Optic Solar Telescope. This is a tower designed to house a high-grade solar telescope, which can be used for scientific research work. The advanced AO system has been used. You know, the AO system is used to eliminate the atmospheric turbulence and can get high-resolution image of the sun. It is very likely this is the only AO system in the world to be used in an educational telescope. Besides that, visitors can directly see how this AO system is working. The whole optical platform is very awesome. Here are some examples of the wonderful high resolution of solar image. Okay, now I will need you go into our exhibition area. That's the greatest pride of our museum. We have created a 12,000 square meters exhibition area, maybe one of the biggest exhibition area for astronomy in the world. We have prepared 3 main exhibition areas named Home, Cosmos, and Odyssey respectively. In Home area, we focus on our solar system and galaxy. We want to answer the question of where are we? In Cosmos area, we will introduce many newest concepts and most recently achievements of modern cosmology. In Odyssey area, we will look back to the long scientific history to explore the universe and also look to the future by showing the great progress of modern spaceflight. Next, I will just show some example photos of the exhibition area. Of course, I can't express the whole beauty of this great work, but just some examples. Here is in the Home area. You can see the whole exhibition hall is surrounded by stars. Everywhere is stars. That's a very immersive environment, just like walking in the space. Here is the big Earth and the big Moon. On the surface of the big Earth, a splendid multimedia film was shown to tell the story of the Earth's long geological history. And inside the big Earth, a must-see optical planetarium, what I have said about, just stands there. The diameter of the big Moon is 5.5 meters, and its surface is a high-resolution work. The proportion of the model Earth to the model Moon is just as neat to real celestial bodies. And here is a glimpse of solar system exhibition. You can see a huge screen of solar here. And you can play an interactive device to learn the influence of the sun on the Earth. Now we will go into the Cosmos area. We want to tell visitors many important universal rules revealed by modern astronomy. Here is an exciting and interactive multimedia item named Interstellar Crossing. When you walk through it, your shadow will interact and just like dancing with the wall drawings. Very interesting. Here is a beautiful scene of big structures of the universe. And this huge and splendid media wall is called cosmic calendar. That is, we condense the whole 13.8 billion years universe history to 1 year and let you know what happened in the past of the universe. And here is the black hole model, and the much knowledge of gravity and star evolution will shown in this room. Here are some other photos of Cosmos area. This is the origin of elements. And this is the interactive device to show the concept of multi-wavelength astronomy. Now we go into the Odyssey area. We will introduce many stories of human exploring of the universe. We call this corridor as River of Stars, a highly concentrated scientific history for exploring the secrets of the universe. The stars here also refer to the scientists, so this is also a river of scientist stars. Here is a scene of great astronomer Herschel and his huge telescope. And here is a beautiful scene of Chinese Chang'e 5 and the Chinese lunar exploration. Here is the Chinese Tiangong SpaceNet. Every visitors can feel their pride of Chinese achievements of space flight. And beside the three main exhibition areas, we still have other thematic areas. Here is astronomy in China, from ancient to modern astronomy in China. And here is a wonderful children playing ground named Wonder Planet. We have created two interesting exoplanets for children to climb, to slide, and to play with fun. Okay, now I will show you some real precious collection. That's the other reasons why we dare to call our planetarium as a museum. In an area named Guests from the Outer Space, we have collected and shown more than 70 precious meteorites. All are very famous in the world. Here are some examples of meteorites. This is called Sigurd Alling. This is Hamburg. And this is a microscopic view of a meteorite slice. This is a very beautiful olive meteorite named Esquipalsite. And this one is from Mars. This one is from the Moon. This meteorite, we call it as the king of our museum. Its name is Changxing Meteorite. It's the only one witnessed meteorite fall on Shanghai, Changxing Island. That happened in 1964. 3 pieces were collected, and this is the biggest one and preserved very well. Besides the meteorites, we also collected many antiques related with astronomy. Here are some examples of original famous science works that have changed the world. This is the book of Galileo, and this is the famous Newton's great work, Mathematical Principle of Natural Philosophy, first English version published in 1729. Here are some beautiful classic star maps published 200 to 300 years ago. And here are some classic scientific instruments made several hundred years ago. Now I will introduce you to our last beauty, the really beauty of our special ordered artworks. To connect science and art is always our ambition. Here is a great work painted by a Chinese artist. She combined many painting skills and materials to describe the whole life of a star, named birth, bride, and death of a star. Here is a great artwork created by an American artist named Half a Moon. Actually, it is a very beautiful and dynamic device to mimic the moon phase. And here is the artwork by a Japanese artist. And here is another huge sculpture by a Japanese artist named Gravity. It will placed in a big round metal outside our main building, but it is still under construction. Maybe finished 2 or 3 weeks. Besides these older artworks, actually, there are still many other artworks in every visitor's eyes. I have seen many good photos in the internet by visitors to our museum. I see every visitor can create his own beauties in the Shanghai Astronomy Museum. So, why our museum is so hot? I think the big secret is that everywhere is beauty. Everyone can easily take so many splendid photos everywhere, which can share in the internet. They all tell us they love Shanghai Astronomy Museum. That's what I want to share with you. Thank you, and we are waiting for your visit.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Dr. Lin. It's really, Shanghai Astronomy Museum is indeed very hot. We're actually, it took my breath away. It's so stunning. It's so beautiful. And I'm sure I would want to visit your museum when I go to Shanghai, if I get the chance after the pandemic. But take us, I know that you will be taking our audience some more to on a short tour of the Shanghai Astronomy Museum. Dr. Lin, can you tell us more about it?
Thank you, Kai. Thank you, everyone, for hearing about my talk. I think it's really a visit, a museum deserved for your visiting. Then I want to give you a video. That video is recorded by a visitor after he finished the tour of our museum. Although the quality of the museum is medium, but I think it is very meaningful because it is very real to reflect a common visitor's feel about our museum. And I will give some exploration and comments in this video. The recorder is about 12 minutes, so maybe you can show this video first. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Lin Ching. That's actually very exciting. I'm sure everyone here would like to visit the Shanghai Astronomy Museum as soon as possible. But I believe Dr. Lin has something more to share with us. Dr. Lin?
Yes, thank you. Now you have a quickly tour of our museum. I'm so sorry that the quality of this video is not so good, but I think it is a real record of a common visitor. So I think it is really meaningful. And now after that, I will give you a high quality film that made by our museum. So this time, I think I will give you an amazing and beautiful feel. Hope you like it. So please play the video. Thank you. The last video.
我们和宇宙的距离有多遥远？一代又一代人仰望星空，踏上征程。亿万光年之外的星轨， 与我们相遇。时空一体的奥秘在这里重现，未知苍穹的探索从这里开始。从这里唤醒梦想，为每个人点亮日常，送回宇宙的孩子，追逐无尽之梦。在这里探寻远方，为这座城打开想象边界。将求知的触角延伸到宇宙的更深处。从这里迈向未来，为人类播下希望的种子。无数好奇的火花将在这里点亮。现在，让我们一起从这里向宇宙出发。
That is indeed very, very exciting and very impressive, Dr. Lin Ching. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experience in putting up the Shanghai Astronomy Museum for the past 8 years. We actually have a lot of questions here, and before we proceed, we would like to call on Du Jimao, a colleague of Dr. Lin Ching, to help us with the question and answer portion. Okay, let me just read some of the comments in the chat box. We actually have from our ASPAC president, of course, TM Lim, who has mentioned that he actually visited the museum back in 2019. And his question is actually answered by Dr. Lin in the chat already. And there's another question here. And I think a lot of other science museums are excited to explore the Shanghai Astronomy Museum. And we hope that we will have other hostels in the campus. And it will, according to Dr. Lin, it will depend on the pandemic control. So we will move on. There's also a question here from Apinia. Does the Shanghai Museum have any special activity or education program to suggest to the other ASPAC members? Dr. Lin or Du Jimao can answer. If I can repeat, the Shanghai Astronomy Museum have any special activity or education program to suggest to the audience that we have or the other ASPAC members?
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Does the Shanghai Astronomy Museum have any special activity or education program to suggest to other science centers?
I'm sorry, I can't understand what's it meaning.
Perhaps Apinia was trying to ask, do you have educational programs that you offer online to other members or to other audience? An educational program or activity.
You mean an educational program, right?
Yes.
Yes, we have prepared many lectures or some teaching course, and but just because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so we haven't started such a work. So maybe I think maybe we can loosen the control of the pandemic control. So maybe in the end of this year, we will start many educational lectures or some teaching course for students. We welcome many students from other schools will come to our museum to study the knowledge of the universe. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dr. Lin. There's another comment here from Yuko. Stay overnight experience in Shanghai Astronomy Museum must be super exciting. I'm sure I would love to experience that too. I love the concept that SAM itself is a work of art and that any visitor can create their own work of art was very nice. The question is there a place to publicize each visitor's work through SNS or other means, or will there be a collaboration with such events? So to repeat, is there a place to publicize each visitor's work through SNS or other means, or will there be collaboration with such events? I think Yuko is referring to where the visitors can create their own artwork. Are those shown online?
Okay, the astronomy picture can show the SIM. We have about 20 pictures show in astronomy SIM.
All right. There's also a comment.
And we also have a temporary exhibition hall. So we welcome many amateurs or astronomy fans work can display in our museum in a temporary exhibition hall. Yes.
Okay. So it's great to know that people can see their works of art in the temporary exhibition hall. How long does this one is from Nikki, how long does it take to tour the Shanghai Astronomy Museum? Is that one day enough to see everything in your museum, or you have to come back several days? How long
I'm sorry?
How long does it take to tour the museum?
How long for the time?
Yes, the time.
Which time? I think 2 hours maybe is nice. But if you have very interested in astronomy, maybe longer. I think many visitors will come more than once, maybe 2 or 3 times. It's okay.
Yeah, I can imagine I will go back there several times to absorb everything. Yes. And finally, for our last question for this portion, the others can still ask questions and we will have them at the end of the webinar. This is from Sam Needham. I'm curious to hear more about international collaboration when it comes to the design process. Did the designers work much with others from the ASPAC network or draw on many pre-existing science centers in the region? So Sam is asking about the collaboration, international collaboration of the design in
yes, we will cooperate with many science centers and also for research institute or the astronomy department or other universities. We will do many some scientific research work also.
I see. So you mentioned that there was you have actually had a designer from the US, and so many parts are also from Japan and other countries.
We want to cooperate with many institutes all over the world. Yes.
All right. So we will know more about that when Dr. Lin and Dujima will come back at the end of our webinar to know more about your other comments. So if you guys have more comments, you can just type them in the chat box. Thank you so much, Dr. Lin and Duji Mao. So
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes. To our guests, we actually have an evaluation survey of the Share-to-Learn session, and we hope that you will be able to answer them right after this session. We will be putting on the survey link in the chat box for you to answer. So we are now in the second part of our webinar. And for this, I would like to call on Nikki, a science communicator from the National Science Museum, Thailand, to join me. Hi, Nikki, how are you?
Hi, Kai, I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. So we're actually in the office and it's a rainy day in Metro Manila. So I now turn over to you from Bangkok.
Thank you, Kai. Hi, everyone. I'm Nikki from National Science Museum. I will take on the moderator for the next section. So thank you, Kai and Dr. Lin again for your great presentation. I am a fan of astronomy. I would love to visit your museum, and I believe that from the audience, we all want to visit once we have a chance. So thank you very much for your inspiring presentation as well. For the next sections, we have another speaker who has experience and interesting idea to share more about the Thematic Science Museum in Asia as well. And for those who just joined us now, we are in ASPAC Share-to-Learn section, Thematic Science Museum in Asia Pacific, specifically focused on concept and creation. For these sections, I'm glad to pleasure to introduce Assistant Professor Dr. Ravin Raviwong, the President of National Science Museum, Thailand, to share in the topic of Ramanaiah, creation and challenge. Feel free to ask the question if you have any questions about the Ramanaiah Museum, National Museum, or even the virtual tour, which we will see soon. Feel free to leave in the chat box. We have staff to pick up some questions from you guys to ask in the QA section later. And for Dr. Ravin Raviwong, he has the educational background in the industrial engineering from Chulalongkorn University, Thailand, and he has PhD degrees in engineering management from University of Missouri Rolla, the United States. He also has experience in research publication, development, management, and commercialized in the engineering and medical area. Dr. Ravin joined National Science Museum Thailand as a president in October 2017. He aimed to bring National Science Museum to become a key player in creating science culture in Thailand and the region as well. So please give a warm welcome to Dr. Ravin for his presenting in the topic of Ramanaiah, creation and challenge. Please, Dr. Ravin.
Sawasdee krab. Good afternoon, everyone. It's always nice to meet you once again. Today, I would like to share with you some ideas, some concept behind the design of the Ramanaiah Museum, which is the newest museum of our National Science Museum families. Today, October 15, is a very important day for the Ramanaiah Museum. Back in 2019, the October 15th was the opening day of the Ramanaiah Museum. And His Majesty the King Vajiralongkorn himself came to the museum and do the official opening of the museum. So today is the exact 2 years. It's our birthday, 2 years old. We're 2 years old now. So it's nice to share with you, with our ASPAC friends, about the design of the Ramanaiah Museum. The presentation here will be separate into 2 parts. I will walk you a tour on the design, construction, ideas, activities, and then after that, after my presentation, Dr. Papichaya will take you a tour of the Ramanaiah Museum. Let's start with the National Science Museum first. Let me introduce you a little bit about our National Science Museum. We're located in Pathum Thani province, just a suburb of Bangkok. If you know Bangkok, our museum was just a little bit north of Bangkok. We're located in the area of the museums. If you look at the yellow circle there, there's a lot of museums in this area. We have National Science Museum, the National History Museum, IT Museum, and the Ramanaiah Museum under the operation of the National Science Museum, Thailand. And also we have a lot of friends who operate museum as well. For example, the National Geological Museum, the Spring Artist Hall, the Pratum Thani Zoo, Kanchanapise National Museum, the Museum of Agriculture, and also the Science Center for Education Planetarium, Lotus Museum, and many more in this area. So we are located in the heart of inspiration. Let me show you closely about the National Science Museum. Our campus, this is our campus. We have 4 large museums in operation now. The first one is a Science Museum, some of you might have a chance to visit us, visit the Science Museum. We also have a Natural History Museum. We also have an Information Technology Museum. And what we are presenting to you today is the Ramanaiah Museum, our 4th museum. In the next 2 years, in 2023, our 5th museum will be in operation. We call it the Futurium. So I think we will have a chance to take you a tour on the Futurium in the short future. It is very, very exciting museum as well. Now, behind the design of the museum, we have 2 types of museum, as some of us may know. It was a generic museum and a thematic museums. The generic museum is like a multidisciplinary subject development. You can come and learn in anything. You can come and then you can you can go everywhere you want. You can learn, you can enjoy from the first floor to any floor that you want. For example, it's like a Natural History Museum in London or the Experimentarium in Denmark. They are generic museums. But the Ramanaiah Museum, we classify it as a thematic museum because there'll be a specific subject development. For example, there's like an aviation museum or a Sherlock Holmes museum in London. And also even our IT museum here in Thailand, it is called a thematic museum because we have focus on certain topics. The Ramanaiah Museum as well, we focus on the ecology and the relationship between human and ecology. The starting point of the Ramanaiah Museum, the first concept was the Biodome. We want to create a new museum on campus that will be an NSM4 museum. We started from the Biodome. It has to be a large and thematic related to the environment. And there should be an indoor and outdoor exhibitions. The first 3 museums, the first 3 of our museums, they are indoor exhibitions. But we want to make a environmental related museum, and we want to make it an outdoor. So it comes to the concept of the Biodome. We focus on something that we should go outside, we should relate it to the environment, we should have some activities, blah, 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 with the environment. So it comes up with the Biodome. Then the concept of the Biodome was developed, and then we add things, add more content, add more concept to the Biodome. It was first we thought about Biodome is we have to share our planet. There will be 3 areas of the biomass with the real plants and animals, with the tropical zone, temperate zone, and the Antarctica. With the display will be the immersive experience. Now the concept of the Biodome was expanded and become the Ramanaiah Museum with the theme of living in harmony and sustainability. We have we have 7 biomass instead of 3. We have 7 biomass and that explore the relationship between humans and the ecosystems. We have the water and science exhibition because this is the fundamental resource for life. You can't live without water and soil. And then we add a little bit of the King Ramanaiah's philosophy, which is the key to sustainable living. So the Ramanaiah Museum will be the combination of immersive experience and the awareness of sustainability. About the name of the Ramanaiah Museum, as some of you may know that it was named after His late Majesty the King Bhumibol, which is everybody acknowledge him as a scientific work, philosophies, and a project rooted in ecology that continue to help Thai citizens to live sustainably onto this day. And this project was one of the 99 commemorative projects on the occasion of his 80th birthday as well. So that's why we call this museum the Ramanaiah Museum. The content design. We team up with the expert, the national experts, even the NSM experts, and also the international communities to design the content, to design the idea, the education program. We work together as a team on ecology and biodiversity to get this museum possible. We decided to have it into three different zones. We call it our home, our life, and our King Ramanaiah. The exhibition area will be like 30,000 square meters plus the outdoor zone. So we can claim that this is the first museum in Asia that you can travel to the world's biomass in 1 day. First section, we call it our home. Our home is what? It's just this planet, the planet Earth is our home. So we start with the beginning of the home, beginning of the universe. It's just simply the dome, the 360-degree dome theater to show the visitors about the origin of the universe and how this home was built. Our solar system, our planet, and the life on Earth. Why this planet is so suitable for us to call it home. We are now the owner of this home. But before us, there's another homeowner, another owner of this planet. For example, like some species under the seas, dinosaurs, and then come up to us as a human. So we want to demonstrate the owner of this home, but just the current owner. We're not talking about the next owner. Might be an insect or everything. So we just stop here as the human as an owner of this home. When we got a home, we have a lot of activities, such like our home. We have like kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, or whatever. So we decide to make it as 7 biomass that people are living in. That's why we call the second section our life. People are everywhere, from the North Pole, desert, South Pole, tropical. We are everywhere in the world on this planet, this home. So this section shows that how we work with the environment. People in the North Pole will have their own home, their own culture, their own ways of living, which are different from the people who live in desert or living in the tropical zone like us. So this section shows that the journey through the major biomass on Earth. That's why we can claim that you can come to the Ramanaiah Museum and explore all over the world in just 1 day. You can learn about flora, fauna, and the people that inhabited them. So this part was very, very interesting, and I encourage everyone to come and experience this part of our museums. Next, our King Ramanaiah. Why do we have to put this at the last session? First, when we have home. Second, we have activities with the home. When we are at home, sometimes we didn't do things good with the home. We didn't take good care of furniture, didn't take good care of anything around the home. It's the same that we did to the environment. Sometimes we use a lot of natural resource. Sometimes we consume that very it's not good, some badly, what I should say. So our King Ramanaiah, he applied his scientific base project to make the relationship between the people of Thailand and the environment. He tried to improve their quality of life while we are also doing and taking care of the environment as well. So this section will integrate his philosophy and scientific thoughts to preserve and conserve the environment. So it's concluded that we come up with 3 ideas of our home, our life, and our King Ramanaiah. Now we look at the engineering design of the Ramanaiah Museum. I think everyone, every museums these days, the building of the museum is an attraction. It's an iconic area. It's a landmark of a museum. So if you can see that from Dr. Lin's building, you can see it was very impressive architecture. The Ramanaiah Museum as well, which is the name Ramanaiah. We designed it as the number 9. If you can look it from the bird's eye view or from the airplane, you can see that our museum, our Ramanaiah Museum, this looks like a figure. The figure is like the number 9. Right. So, and then the design of the flow. That's why we call it a Thematic Science Museum, because it is a one-directional flow. We have one entrance and one exit. People will go from the 2nd floor. We enter the exhibition from the 2nd floor. They go through our home sessions. They go downstairs to our live sessions. And then they come back again on the 2nd floor to visit our King session. And then they go back again to go home or to go to a cafeteria or something. That's if you go into the one directional as our design, you can learn and appreciate all the content that was integrated together from the design of the Ramanaiah Museum. You can understand how life goes, how life begins, and how this planet begins, and how the journey of our human and to everywhere. Why we have to go from the North Pole to the tropical to the temperate area, and also this. That's why we have to make it a one-directional flow, because of the content that we want to deliver to our visitors. And also we are also put some temporary exhibition hall. This is very important because we want to make the ecosystem of the museum is very what I say, it just multi-purpose. So the temporary exhibition area can be used for many good traveling exhibition or even some kind of activities, seminars as well. So we decided to have a large temporary exhibition area, about 1,400 square meters. Now the challenge of the exhibition design. As you know, that when we make an exhibition like this about the worlds, about animals, about the plants, the most attraction is how you can make it look like a real animal, real plants. But in the Ramanaiah Museum, we at the first stage we didn't use the real specimen. We used a model. So our challenge is that how can we make the models as real as possible? Which is I think it was good. All the model exhibition was kind of good right now, and it is quite a good design and good fabrication of the models. And our challenge is that we will try to replace this model with taxidermy collection in a short future. This will be a challenge because when you put a taxidermy collection on the display, you have to deal with the humidity, deal with some control, insect, all kind of things. But we will try to make it a more realistic experience for visitors. And also the challenge is that the exhibition design also, we want to make an indoor arboretum with waterfalls. We put a waterfall inside. So it has to be a very, very challenging design and also maintenance as well. So we want to have an outdoor learning space featuring wetland and mangrove forest. We create artificial, it's not artificial, it's just like something that the mangrove can grow in our outdoor exhibition areas, which is we kind of happy with that because it was the mangrove grows like nicely, and the wetland looks like a real wetland. So we can claim that we put all the wetland here in the heart of the city of Pathum Thani. So there's I'll show you some construction pictures. These are like when we try to make it then arboretum and the waterfalls. It's kind of challenging for engineering work as well. So when it's finished on the right-hand side, it was like very, very, very beautiful. Now, apart from the exhibition, we have an education design as well. The challenge is that how to overcome visitors' fatigue and provoke curiosity in a huge exhibition areas. You might spend like 3 or 4 hours traveling through our exhibitions in 3 zones, and then you got like fatigue or got tired somehow. And then how can we keep your momentum going with the experience of visiting the museum? So that's why we have to design the education program of the museums. First, we start with the walk rally and the museum trails. This was a good idea because of a large museum. People sometimes just get bored really easily because it was so large. So they don't know where to go. They just try to find some highlights area. So we decided to make a walk rally and do the museum trail. So visitors, especially kids, school kids, can learn and enjoy, and they can discover something that we try to urge them to do. So it was one of the success program with our Ramanaiah museums. Next, we have play and learn activities. So it was like a workshop, a small workshop for kids to make things related to environment, related to the ecosystem, and related to the sustainability. It's just like an easy program for small kids that was too tired to walk the whole museum. So you can just stop at our stations and do some kind of play and learn activities. We also have a special event as well. So it's like, for example, the Halloween. When you look at the pumpkins and spiders, we also have some kind of small education on pumpkins, spider webs, and all kind of things. So people can enjoy with these special events. Also, we have a one-day camp. I think the camping is like a very good program for kids and all families. They like camping. It's just one day they can go through all kind of indoors and outdoor exhibition. They can learn something. They can discuss with our curators. They can do some hands-on activities, and they can go back home with some good inspiration of the natures. Also, we have some kind of online program. We have like online on-site program. We have a program called Talk Thought Together, which we invited speakers from all over the country to come and share their thought, and we come up with some kind of a suggestion or a very good comments for us to improve or to make our museum better or our environmental issues better. So this was another popular program for the Ramanaiah Museum as well. We also have another online program. We call it Mouth at Muse. Actually, just talk with at the museum. We just rename it to Mouth at Muse. So this was another popular online program. We made it on a Facebook. We just have our curators come and share their experience, and the engagement from the audience was so nice. So we have this kind of activities going until now. Another program we initiated because of the pandemic as well. So people cannot come to the museum. So we just send the Explorium at Home program to the kids. We deliver the kids to home or to school, and then they can learn and enjoy. They go out there from their home, and then they find like some animals around, might be an insects, ants, centipedes, all kind of thing around it, and they just collect the data, take pictures, and find some explanation themselves, and send the kit back to us, send the report back to us. So our curator will grade it and then give them some kind of reward. This is one of our popular program as well, the Explorium at Home. Yeah. Next, I would like to share with you some story of science and art. As Dr. Lin said, a science center today, we cannot be a science center alone. We have to integrate it with humanity, sociology, and all kind of arts and things. We had a temporary exhibition called The Water and Life, River and Peoples of the Asia Pacific exhibition. So this museum integrates the science and arts and the living of the people in the Asia Pacific areas. We have it there's 4 parts of the exhibitions. The first part was, we call it Greeting Rivers. It talks about the rivers geography, geology, and the landscape of the landscape they shape. And then the second area was about the observing rivers, the diversity of the riparian flora and fauna and these major rivers, as well as their relationships. The third part is relating to the river. That is how art meets science. This section is how the people of the Asia Pacific region use, celebrate, and honor rivers. This was very nice exhibition. This was a nice part because we can, enjoy the everyday science with the rivers as well. And finally, we came up with the valuing the rivers sessions. We consider the impacts of our on rivers and how to value rivers. We had a photo from countries in the Asia Pacific region to show us too. And future collaborations at the Ramanaiah Museum, as the concept was created, that we want to be an ecology museum for Asia, and we want to ask for collaboration from all of you. We had a cooperation with the UNESCO. We also had a good friend from ASPAC to share with us some photos of the rivers, and also we are trying to make an Asia Pacific water museums as well, if we can make it possible in a short future. So I think collaboration will be very, very important for us. Here's some example of the collaboration. We had a Natural Heritage exhibition. It's about the geological tourist site in the Asia Pacific regions. We got photos to raise the awareness of the conserving sites. We had our friends from all over the Asia Pacific send the pictures to exhibit with us on this exhibition as well. And also we have some activities. We call it the 2021 International Photo Contest, River and Ocean, Connecting Water to Life. Yeah, we got some photo contest, which was very, very popular. We got like hundreds of photos coming in, and we think we try to continue this kind of activities to make art, science, and collaboration among our Asian countries as well. So I think that's about what I should say about the Ramanaiah Museum, and I would like to welcome you all to the Ramanaiah Museum to visit us in person in a short future. So we hope that we can overcome this pandemic as soon as possible, and like to welcome you to a place where everyone can discover the wonder of science, the National Science Museum, Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Win. A place where everyone can discover the wonder of science. What a nice cause for everyone indeed. I thank you for your inspiring presentations about Ramanaiah Museum. I think it's very important for the museum these days that not only display the aesthetic of science, the nice, beautiful architecture, but also alongside with the program like trail or educational program can make the audience revisit the museum as well. Thank you very much. And I believe that our audience are looking forward to visit the Ramanaiah Museum again once we have a chance. And I see the questions from the chat box that Ramanaiah Museum will all reopen soon. And special for everyone today, we also have a virtual tour from Ramanaiah Museum for everyone to take a glance at our museum and come to visit us. So please take a look.
Welcome to Ramanaiah Museum. Today I'm Finn. I'm gonna be your special guide to take you on a tour with me. As you know that many museums given a presentation on the ecosystem, but just a few museums have talked about the relationship about human and ecosystem. Ramanaiah Museum, a special, unique museum, is one of them. So let's explore this place together. Let's go. Ramanaiah Museum was established and named after the late His Majestic King Bhumibol Adulyadej. It has been inspired to learn and truly understand the perfect living harmony between human and nature. And this museum not only presents about his duty and his history, and also present the ecological all over the world. The Ramanaiah Museum might be like a huge playground that tells us the story about ecosystem for all over the world. It was designed and created with multimedia, motion pictures, live screen, and games. The museum has delivered the hand-on activities and cutting-edge technology like a 4D theaters, projection mapping, and VR. The audience will not come here to only learn, but also earn a varied kind of knowledge by themselves. The design, displays, and slide communication method of exhibitions has challenged us to deliver easy digesting, fun, and attractive knowledge, which respond to the enjoyment of different ages and gender, or called Museum for All. Welcome to our first gallery, our home. Today I will take you back on a journey from thousands and hundreds of years to learn the life and understand the evolution of the world, which is our home. Let's check it out. The digital art on the live exhibition shows us the double helix of DNA, which is basic foundation or blueprint of living things. The exhibition also shows a variety of organisms on the earth, such as bacteria, archaea, protists, fungi, and animals. One of the highlights of the museum that everyone remembers and photographs is endemic species of dinosaur in Thailand, Siamotyranus isanensis, and Puviangosaurus sirintane, a kind of carnivorous and herbivorous dinosaurs. The Human Odyssey exhibits a showcase that presents some of the most stunning lifelike of ancient human models, which updated information based on the latest research. This is a collaboration between Thai sculptors and academies. If you wish to investigate and study ecosystem around the world, it may take a long journey and time. But here, you will be able to explore the ecosystem around the world just one day in our largest space, our life. So the audience will walk through the various biomes such as Antarctica, Arctic, tundra, taiga, desert, tropical, and Thailand ecoregions. So to learn the adaptability of the living thing and also learn how the human have an impact on each ecosystem, and sadly, some of which has a negative impact. Enjoy learning about our relationships with nature, such as the Eskimo way of life. Get a virtual experience as if went on an adventure in mysterious taiga forest by stepping on a flexible floor that mimics the pile plant layer in this forest. At the 4D theater, you will understand how hot it is in the desert. How do desert creatures adapt themselves? Come and feel it by yourself. At the tropical zone, we will begin with Indigenous Lifestyle. It shows you a way of life that is related and rely on nature. You will hear the animal sounds, native voice, and exotic distinctive music. At the treehouse on Giant Oak, it is a children's gathering point when visiting our museums. Examples of varying forest species in Thailand are shown here, ranking from tropical evergreen forest, seasonal rainforest, dry dipterocarp forest, mixed deciduous forest, peat swamp forest to mangrove forest, stimulated water flow current, cave, and ecosystems. This is the point that the audience must not miss. most importantly, the museum have tried to stimulate things with virtual reality to give a deep understanding of the knowledge to live with the nature and sustainability according to our King work guideline, His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej, which is our King.
At the reception hall of our King Gallery, we used the media and art form to display the royal rainmaking project, live at Rangsit Field, animals found in the central lowland of Thailand, and the pet of King Ramanaiah. We will meet the animation of Saman or Shombroke deers, or conserve extinct wildlife of Rangsit Field, where our museum is located. A drastic change in world affects human living behavior in the midst of liberal capitalist development that harvests natural resources to create economic value. The sufficiency economic principle of King Ramanaiah is not just philosophy, but an optional for way of living. There are some tangible guidelines of practice which can be applied at all levels from individuals, families, organizations, to immunize us and to sustain the world.
The museum has a lot of activity and also have the temporary exhibition rooms that dedicate to regional agendas such as water, forest, and environmental issues as a platform to connect with agencies, and also as a to raise awareness and offer the education on the environment and also sustainability development. The Ramanaiah Museum offers a new way to better understand our world and inspire humans to play a part as a good member in the ecosystem. And this is the story of our Ramanaiah Museum, the place that far beyond a science museum. Come and experience by yourself.
Thank you very much, Dr. Finn, for taking us on tour on the virtual tour of our Ramanaiah Museum. We got a lot of questions from the audience asking when the museum will reopen again. So right now, the National Science Museum actually reopened our Science Museum and Technology Museum today for the first time after the long pandemic. So if anyone in Bangkok or Thailand would like to visit us, we are open on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And here we have a question from Yuko. She said, like, enable to experience all of the earth in one day is where we would visit under the recent situation. So the question is, she's known that the animals, greenery, and waterfall are difficult to maintain. So Dr. Ravin, what are the challenge and what measure can be taken?
Well, it's okay. So the animal is okay because it's just a model. So we just do, a cleanup and do just regular maintenance for the animals to make them like fresh every time visitors come in. But the real challenge is that how to keep up with the all kind of plants and all kind of the greeneries and the waterfalls. I'll give you a secret behind how we maintain this. If you look at our indoor exhibition of the waterfalls and the plants, 5-10 years from now, the size will be still the same. It's not a big forest. It's not going to be a big forest. We treat the plants and the display there as a showcase. Sometimes when the plants or the plants looks tired, we just move them to the nursing area outside, and then we move the ones that are healthy and they want to be like a stand-in coming in. So we kind of rotating our plants, our plant staff, or what you say, so that's why we have them fresh all the times. About like 6 months or a year we do this. So this is why how we keep up with the exhibition on the waterfalls and the indoor exhibition. Right. But anyway, you have to put the resource to maintain it anyway. You have to put money, you have to put people just to make it ready for the visitors as well. You have to put that. But we select this we select this method because we don't want to make it a huge forest, because that's going to be very more difficult to maintain in the long run.
Yeah, and I also think it is important to make it healthy, just to show the student and the audience to see what is the real biome that we try to show them in the museum as well. So we have another question. What do you think about the challenge of COVID-19 for Ramanaiah Museum during this time?
I think the challenge will be in two parts. I think about it in two parts. The first one is that during the pandemic, we have to, I think it's like every museums that we have to shut down the operation, and people's like they want to go to the museum. What we do is we have to make some online program just to deliver the good things, the experience of the museum, of the Ramanaiah Museum, to our audience. So we came up with a lot of science delivery program about not only the Ramanaiah Museum, but all the 4 museums as well. We make a program and deliver to our audience online. The second part is that, which is I think is very, very most important, is about the post-pandemic. During the pandemic, we have time to think, to rethink, and to prepare ourselves ready for the post-pandemic era. We want people to come more. We want to collaborate with our friends more, and we want to make a better use of our museum more. So the challenge is that it's not during the pandemic, but after the pandemic. We're excited about that. We hope that it will pass very, very soon, and we're kind of ready to take the shot at it. So please, it's not that far. We will meet each other once again. Please come visit us.
Yeah, as Kai also commented that she visited our museum is 2019, still in construction, but right now it's 2021. We are so ready to welcome everyone again. And for Mr. Jeremy also asking how long it takes to visit the whole museum. So we have the answer. Some is like briefly sure it will take about 3 to 4 hours. But if you take the educational program or different trail, you can revisit us so many times. What do you recommend for the extra activity for museum beside visit or the panel in the museum, Dr. Robin?
Just only the Ramanaiah Museum. I think you have at least 2 days. And luckily that we have a dormitory on campus as well. So you can come and stay at our dormitory and enjoy our Ramanaiah Museum. But for the whole campus, probably you can take weeks. So it's a very large complex and you can enjoy. I mean, for like most of us, we are in the museum business. We like enjoy going to museum. So the National Science Museum, the NSM Thailand, it's a place. I mean, you have to come and stay weeks here with us and enjoy what we have to offer with us. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and another question from SSTM team. He says like the topic of the Ramanaiah Museum is very interesting and focused on nature and human. So what is the difference between the Natural Museum and Ramanaiah Museum?
Well, the Natural History Museum is pretty much more on the collection of the taxidermies collection. But the Ramanaiah Museum is the relationship between the environment and the living things like the human and the environment. So that's a key difference between the Natural History Museum and the Ramanaiah Museum, because the Ramanaiah Museum will focus on the relationship between human and the environment.
Okay, that's nice. So the last question is from Florence. Do you have any plan to conduct outreach program like online and or on site to other parts of Thailand?
Yes, we have online program. We call it Science Delivery by NSM. Like you order food delivery or something during the pandemic. We also have a science delivery as well. So that's the online program. And the outreach program, we are preparing for the post-pandemic. So if everything is like clear enough, we will go to all over the place. We have our famous science caravan program, and we are ready to put the content of the Ramanaiah Museum onto our science caravan program as well. So stay tuned.
Yeah, as we so ready to pass the pandemic, and as well as SAM Museum, I believe that everyone now are so ready for everyone to visit. So thank you very much, Dr. Win, for your presentation and QA section as well. So that's pretty much all for share and learn section from both new museum. And as Kai mentioned earlier, we would love to hear your response from our survey, as the staff are dropping the link to survey in the chat box already. So please share your thought. What do you like, or what do you want us to improve on the section, and what topic that you like to join in the future? Your comments are very important to us. So before we leave, I would like to call back Dr. Lin Ching and Dr. Ravin with us again, and also Kai, my moderator from the first section. So thank you, Dr. Lin from Shanghai Science and Technology Museum, and Dr. Ravin from National Science Museum again for your presentation. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences, and a beautiful virtual tour for both museums. So I would like to take a couple photos together. And next, I would like to ask all the audience here, more than 100 audience with us. I'm so excited. Please, if you mind, like turn on your camera and give a big smile to the camera. So our staff will take a group photo together. Yeah, I already see some of you turn on the camera. Yes, please give a big smile to us too. Okay. I think we have a great group photo together. Thank you, everyone. So I give the stage back to Kai.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you also to Assistant Professor Rawin for that very wonderful talk. Similar to the Shanghai Astronomy Museum, the Ramanaiah Museum has proven that we can actually come out with a new museum even during these pandemic times. So we're actually we are very honored to have with us Dr. Lin Ching and Dr. Rawin in this third Share to Learn session. And we have shown that we never stop learning. We in the ASPAC network will also not stop collaborating. And so with your answers in the survey form, we would know what we can learn in the fourth Share to Learn session, which we will have in a couple of months' time, or maybe in 3 months' time. And we look forward to seeing you all once again in the fourth Share to Learn. And perhaps to close, we would like to everyone for joining this session. And don't forget to share also what you have learned to your colleagues. So we will see you once again in the 4th Share to Learn. Thank you to Shanghai Astronomy Museum and Ramanaiah Museum, as well as the rest of the ASPAC network for sharing this Share to Learn session with us. Again, good afternoon and have a great week ahead.